It is super unethical for Barry to be auto-posting.
All right. So hello everyone. Welcome to today's Webmaster Search Helpdesk Hangout number 110. My name is Wissam Dandan out of Daytona Beach, Florida. I'm a SEO consultant like all these beautiful people down over here. So go ahead, Barry, introduce yourself.
I'm Barry. I think I might have a panda issue.
We can help you with that, definitely. We got the expert, Eric Wu. Go ahead, Eric.
I'm Eric Wu. I'm sitting in a Chinese cafe where it's super loud, and you might hear some electronic music. But I do SEO for Edmunds.com, where we do car research and car sales.
Josh.
Hello, I am the Bones of Matt Cutts, and I have come back from Christmas past to tell you many things about what's going on.
Can you do the Matt Cutts T-Rex arms?
Rawr! Rawr!
Yeah, that's wrong. Anyways, William, go ahead.
I'm William Rock, another geek on the web, just happy to be here, and I don't have a Panda update issue.
That's great.
If I have an issue, all you guys have issues.
So what would you like to discuss for your Panda issue, or go ahead with the news, or we have a couple of questions also on the board from Pavle, I think.
What do I want to? I don't care. Whatever you want to discuss, you tell me. You're in charge.
All right, let's do your stuff, because
Which stuff? I got plenty of stuff going on.
Panda,
Let's talk
your
about
issue.
Panda.
Well, not Panda.
Is it Panda?
Your decrease in traffic.
My decrease in traffic. I have a decrease in traffic. I got issues.
So did you check Webmaster Tools to see what type of queries are they? Are they branded, or are they?
Yeah, mostly like Viagra and stuff like that.
Well, I think to be helpful to the audience, like, how did you determine, like, your traffic drop, and then why do you think that it's potentially something related to Panda?
All right, let me bring this up. So, all right, I got the charts up now. So, Panda was announced on the first day of Rosh Hashanah, which was September 25th. I had scheduled content for Thursday and Friday on those days. I come back online. I find out that Panda was announced. I say, okay, cool. I do a blog post about it on a Monday, looking at my analytics, saying, my weekend traffic was about 30% less from Google than my normal weekend traffic. Maybe it had to do with me being offline and just writing just generic content, not news-related content. I'm like, I'll give it a couple more days. But looking at Google Webmaster Tools, you want me to share my screen? Sure, why not? Hold on. Okay, screen share. Screen number 14.4. There.
We don't want you to screen share. We want to eat link networks.
All right, here's my screen share, so you can actually see what's going on. You see that September 25th compared to the past. I guess it's using the same date range beforehand. It's down about 70% impressions. I rank very well for Panda 4.1, I guess.
That's so meta. But anyways, continue.
It is. This is actually, let me just incognito it. Curious. Yeah, pretty good. This would have been my story if I was online. Anyway, so people are not searching for Search Engine Roundtable as much, I guess, or SEO Roundtable, which is interesting. SEO Roundtable. This is just interesting, right? Branded keywords, as well as some keywords that I used to rank well for, and I still, my rank is, what do you see?
I think it's like anything related to a brand. You used to have a lot of visibility with it, and like YouTube something, like Google something, if you put Facebook something. I mean, switch to new SEO news. Huh, okay.
So what's interesting is that I have sources, and those sources tell me it has nothing to do with an algorithm. And I trust those sources. You can think I don't, you can think the sources are bad, but they're good sources. So what's interesting is that they're saying there's no algo that's affecting me. I don't know. Looks like an algo is affecting me.
Okay, can you actually what do they call it? Filter by the highest position lost? If you click on change.
Highest position lost. Okay. The average position or change?
No, the change.
This might take a while.
So,
One more time, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Barry, who did you talk to that they said it was not an algorithm that affecting you?
I cannot
Reliable,
that.
reliable sources. That's all you need to know, Josh.
It may or may not have been.
Matt Cutts, thank you.
It
So
may
I
or
think
may
I
not
know
have
what
been the
reliable
bones of Matt
sources
Cutts.
are not.
It may or may not have been the bones of Matt Cutts. I don't see any. Why is it not? There it goes.
Okay, go
Search
ahead.
engine optimization.
Uh-huh.
But I never ranked for what?
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of weird. Well, this is basically because of scraping. It appears on the 300 people are searching up to 300 position. 50, 14.
But the impression count is so low.
Yeah.
I mean, these don't count.
SEO.
This is not gonna impact your.
No.
I mean, 472 impressions is like nothing.
Oh, probably for
only
him.
for a few days, right? Still nothing, right? Yeah, I don't know. Here's a big one. AdSense. What's up there?
Okay.
I don't know. It looks like algo to me, right? It looks to all you SEOs. It would be like this is an algorithm, right?
Right. Totally.
All right. Anyway, so Panda 4.1 was released, and some of us may or may not have been hit, depending on who you ask or don't ask.
Well, I think one of the takeaways is that even though some people think that Google is infallible, like they make mistakes, right? And I think like even with all the other algorithm updates that have been in the past, where there are definitely sites that were high quality got penalized, and a lot of which Barry covered on searchengineroundtable.com. Like there are going to be edge cases where they can't account for everything. And it seems like this is probably one of those cases where they'll have to dig in and there's probably a bug, even though like it's not quote unquote algorithmic. The timing, like I know correlation, causation, all that crap, but like the timing is just too close, right? Like that doesn't make sense.
Agree. I was shocked. I was like, this is definitely Panda. Great. I get to write about my Panda experience and stuff like that. I was really fine. I honestly don't care for the traffic. I don't make money off the site that much. It's not like AdSense money. So I'm like, oh, great. I was penalized by links. I was penalized by Panda. Now it's good times, but I don't know. Anyway, so if you were hit by Panda 4.1, I'm with you.
And next week probably Penguin. You never know.
So I'm hoping yeah, Penguin would be nice.
So like, that's a good segue. So tell us what happened at SMX East while Gary was talking about.
You want to know what Gary was talking about? Oh, sure.
I mean, because I think there was a kind of...
All right, so there's a few things Gary was talking about. I'll bring up Search Engine Land for this.
Awesome.
All right, the big news is that, well, he didn't really say anything, but he said something. So Penguin, he said, and he actually gave very, very extreme details, which was like, Gary, hold on, I don't know if you should be giving the amount of details, but he gave a tremendous amount of details that he received an email from the internal team there, specifically whoever's in place of Matt Cutts right now, saying that Penguin will be released in the next weeks. And he said he received that email from the team or from this guy, who he wouldn't reveal who it was. I know off the record, I think. That it was 2 weeks ago, or about 2 weeks ago. So weeks, Danny and I were like on the stage like saying, hey, weeks? All right, so that's probably a few weeks, so it's probably one more week until it's released, approximately, if everything goes well. So we're thinking maybe it's next week, probably on the holiday of Sukkot, where all of Eric's office is off on Thursday and Friday. So another interesting point is that all the disavow stuff has been processed already. So if you disavowed stuff back 2 weeks ago or forward, like today, those disavow links will no longer be won't count in this new Penguin. So it won't count if you do disavow stuff today. So obviously it's ready to go. He also said that this will lay the groundwork for future updates to be faster, and it will be a delight, which I think is just his English stuff or non-English stuff, as well as he said it will be, what do you say, something I don't know, more pleasant or something like that to users. So it's ready to go. So I think it's going to happen probably in the next few days. Tomorrow is the actual anniversary of Penguin 2.1, the last refresh from Penguin. So we'll see what happens. So that's the big news that didn't come out of.
Do you think, as you know, Pierre Farr is going to be at PopCon next week? Do you think while he's doing his presentation might say, well, heads up, Friday we might be rolling Penguin?
I don't think so, no.
Come on, man.
I don't think they're going to say hold something for PopCon without. So Pierre is the big speaker at PopCon for Google?
Well, I don't know. I saw him in the keynote. Like, I think he's doing the first day, Tuesday, I think from 8:30, doing something about mobile, I think.
Yeah. Is that the only
Yes.
thing
Yes.
he's on?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I doubt it. If he's talking, I doubt he'll bring up Penguin or stuff. Maybe, you never know. I doubt it. I mean, if it works out, he might, but I don't know. Pierre is also less likely to talk about stuff than Gary in the public. He's more like a John Mueller. Gary's even more than Matt Cotts in terms of revealing stuff.
Okay.
But who knows? So I don't know. I don't think it'll be tied with PubCon necessarily. I think either they'll release it today or they'll release it like hopefully Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. And if they're nice, like I asked them to, they won't release it on a Jewish holiday, but we'll see. Doesn't matter. So that's the big news. He also talked about where I got it here. Too many stories here.
The HTTPS thing with Bing, that was kind of pretty funny too.
Yeah, so for more you guys probably care more about this, is how Googlebot crawls.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about how they use two signals, which I see Josh already exploiting. One is connection time, and two is HTTP server status code. So if Googlebot sees the hops from one page to the next page to the next page, starts to slow down in terms of page connection time, Googlebot will say, hold on, we're going to stop crawling and come back later. Same thing if they start getting 500 realm, 500, 503, whatever those codes are, server status codes are going to back off and come back later. So that's two signals that Google have never discussed before around how Googlebot uses crawl efficiency and stuff like that.
I don't think that's actually really new, though, right? I mean, like.
No, it's not. They never discussed actual signals. And it was interesting when he asked, like, what do you think we use? He gave 4 examples. I forgot what they were. One was connection time, which very few people felt they would use. 2 is, they said, is obviously this server status codes, and nobody raised their hand for that. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with these people? And then 3 is he said something about, I don't know, some things that you would think. 3 and 4 were some things you would think, but most people raise their hand for that, and they don't. And I forgot what they were. So what you think they might use versus what they really do, it's not always the case. And these are 2 things that they confirmed, or he confirmed that they do use, and so forth. It looks to me like Gary's on a mission, and I don't know how he has authority to do that, to actually go ahead and be much more transparent than any other Googler out there. And hopefully that will continue.
Cool.
Also, HTTPS. So Gary was specifically the person who came up with the idea for HTTPS to be a ranking signal, and 2, to convince Matt Cutts, which didn't take much convincing, he said, and 3, the person who actually programmed it or coded it into the algorithm. So that's he admitted. So if you have any problems with the HTTPS ranking signal, it's his fault. He also said of the URLs Google has crawled and discovered, 10%, there are 10% of those URLs about are HTTPS URLs. And if you look at the search results on queries that are typical to come up, he said of the first page results, you'll likely find one or more, 30% of the time you'll likely find one or more HTTPS URLs in the first page results. So he's like, it just seems to be that typically HTTPS results show up more often than what's out there on the internet, I guess. That was his point.
That's pretty cool. I mean, that also can tell us that whatever small boost it had, it's experimental, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. And he also said it's still obviously a small ranking factor, and he actually equated it to the page speed algorithm. And he also talked about some future stuff they're working on. One is they're working on looking at how broken certificates can be handled, specifically either demoting the page or swapping it out for the HTTP version as opposed to HTTPS, which they currently do the HTTP versus HTTPS, but they don't demote pages that are pretending to be HTTPS and really not. And they also had some other ideas that they're working on, specifically around they're not working on it, but he's brainstorming these ideas that look at a site, if they have a checkout process, is the whole checkout process over HTTPS? If websites are asking people to log in, is that done over HTTPS? And the cipher strength of a certificate, is it a certain level or not? And should they actually look at that type of factor in terms of HTTPS ranking factors? So those are the main things that came out of Gary's talk. I will probably be writing something about UX next week, specifically around if that's going to be a ranking factor or not, based on maybe some hints he dropped while he was talking. I'm trying to get more information, if it's really going to be a factor or not, and hopefully I'll write about it next week on both Search Engine Roundtable and Search Engine Land, exactly copy and paste content from one site to the other.
Is the US based on the published fundamentals that they've been pushing for the last couple of weeks?
I suspect so, but I would like them to, give me some details that I can actually write about. So that's the feeling I get. And what was also funny was Vincent, I guess, who is, filled in for Dwayne Forrester. He's the lead program manager for Bing Webmaster Tools. He basically mocked Google, saying Bing has no plans to actually use HTTPS as a ranking factor, while he was on the panel with Gary, who was the person responsible for coming up with the idea and engineering it. And he's like, basically, it's not a relevancy signal, and we don't want to promote stuff that shouldn't be promoted if it wasn't a relevancy factor, or it's not really a relevancy factor. So it was pretty funny to see that, and they were having a lot of fun back and forth because Gary's very sarcastic, and this guy was pretty. He was just looking to cause trouble, so it was pretty funny.
That's good.
Anyway, so that's what we got from Gary over the week.
Is the kind of debate going to be published on Search Engine Land like last time? I think.
I don't know if it was recorded. Maybe if it was recorded, maybe they'll post a video. I don't know if it was recorded or not. I wasn't paying attention.
All right. Let me just 1 second. All right. I think we have a couple of questions being asked from Pavle. I think his first question was, Josh, you can answer that one. Are you here, Josh? Still here?
What is the question?
Okay. So, should all 404 pages be redirected, and what is the best practice to do that in WordPress?
Well, the first answer is no. You don't have to do that necessarily. Google is supposed to handle 404 pages just fine. But I think it would be a good idea to 301 on a page level, any 404 that would be useful for the user. Mm-hmm. And also, if you're going to serve a 404, I definitely wouldn't serve an unvarnished Apache error with nothing on the page. I would definitely serve a useful page with maybe a search bar, or maybe you were looking for this content kind of a thing. And I'm the bones of Matt Cutts.
And that's a great answer. His other question was, I'm gonna paste his site over here for all of you guys can see it. Cards review, I think. Let's see. So his question was, my site was hit by the newest panda. Why? How can I successfully recover? Should I send it to you, Barry? Same, both of you in the same boat, Paul.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I would pay the black hat guy in this hangout to figure it out.
Do you have any mic? A black hat? No? Maybe? Don't think so. Anyways, well,
I've got a quick question for you guys.
go ahead, William.
Have you guys been staying up on with the new policy for AdWords, on the new ban that happened across multiple platforms? Mine industry was paintball, but
Paintball?
knives and everything else kind of got attacked. All the ads are supposed to be gone, but eBay still seems to be feeding paintball ads, as well as there's a couple other manufacturers, or sorry, not manufacturers, but retailers out there still advertising for the same thing. I just didn't know if that was some type of flaw. They kicked out most of them, but then there's a couple of them just kind of straggling in that they can actually post or display ads.
I mean, is it, I don't know, probably mistakenly being shown their ads, eBay? Because, you know, the history of eBay with AdWords is...
Well, eBay doesn't have a policy, so to say, to actually ban any projectile items like paintball guns or airsoft guns or other things that would be, shoot, I could see Nerf coming down the line next, but, you know, that's what he said. I'll be posting something on it later, probably later today, with screenshots to show
All right.
things I've been finding with this one.
Were you able, guys, to check the site? I never heard of Panini stickers ever. Probably they live in Canada only, and Europe.
So I'm the bones of Matt Cuts, and I've looked at this site that you posted for the Panda review, and it's an affiliate site, but the affiliate links are not no-followed, so they definitely want to no-follow those affiliate links. And there's a lot of link outs. I would be wondering how much the users are enjoying this site. The article looked pretty substantive, pretty long, but I don't know how much they'd be enjoying it.
Well, the thing is, I tried to take some snippets out of the text to see if it's, the low quality type of affiliate where they actually steal content from multiple places. But he seemed to do pretty good job at writing it, and he listed a forum which basically asked the third question about it is, I'm using bbPress on my WordPress site, but I believe this goes for any other site with a forum. Should forum topics and replies be indexed? If not all, what should be indexed from these and what should be no indexed? Well, I think from asking that question he knows the answer, but I want to tell him the answer because I think we're going to go after that talking about your list of Panda that you got out of the SMX East leaks, right, Josh?
Yes.
Yeah,
also, I noticed on that site he has tags, category pages and tags set up, and breadcrumbs. That's some minor keyword stuff in there too. So those are some of the things to watch out for, other than doing a deeper analysis. Oh, and I'm the bones of Matt Cuts, so whatever I say is true. So there you go.
All right. And concerning the forum, probably I will give him the answer for that. Based on multiple time, I mean, they asked John Mueller about it. He always mentions that you have to kind of moderate your forum in a way that if there's certain post that doesn't have any interaction or zero interaction, you not index it till we have interaction on it. But I think your community is very small to have this kind of huge flag. I don't know if it can pick up. Yeah, small forum. I won't worry about it. But if it's huge and you have a lot of questions and nobody interacts in your forum, I will basically index it. All right, let's go to you, Josh. Tell us, what did you? Were you in SMX East?
No, I was not there myself. I was watching the Twitter streams and watching, of course, Barry. I was just stalking Barry. I've hacked his phone, and so everything that he's looking and doing at, I get to see. And you've watched Person of Interest, so I've hacked his phone like that. I was following him, in my black suit with the white shirt and fighting bad guys and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. Anyway, so Gary, how do you pronounce his last name, Barry? Gary Ilias?
So he said his own name, and I couldn't. It was just like a is. I don't know.
So Gary Ills, he did mention, I wasn't there, so Barry, correct me if I'm wrong, but apparently he did mention that user experience is going to be extremely important for Google moving forward, even more than it is now, especially on mobile.
No.
You didn't say that.
You're saying it's going to be more important?
That's what the tweets were saying.
So he basically said on stage that mobile icon people are seeing, you're going to see a lot more of it, but he didn't say there's going to be a ranking tweak to mobile results. He was on a mission to change what people are calling smartphone friendly stuff to just mobile friendly, because he doesn't like how people say smartphone because all phones are becoming smart. But he didn't really say much about the ranking signal being adjusted much. So
user experience will or will not be more important in moving forward?
I think they're going to look at more, if I had to guess, they're going to look at more factors in terms of what a properly built mobile site is. And if it's not properly built, they're not going to give, I guess, they will give the demotion to I think they give demotions to sites that are not mobile friendly in the mobile search results. So if you do a search on your mobile phone, they might demote sites that are not, I don't know how heavily they demote it. I don't think it's a big drop, but they demote sites that are not so heavy. So I think they're going to look at more if the site is really that usable on a mobile phone. And if it's not so usable on a mobile phone, even though it might be passing a very header and other things, then they're going to say, you know what, this is really not a mobile-friendly website, and thus we're going to go ahead and serve up that demotion, if I had to guess.
So then, yes, user experience is going to be more important moving forward.
So I guess, but I don't think the other thing was confirmed. He was implying you should do it.
But I think when you go, if any of you guys actually use the tool Page Speed Insight, and there's a additional section where basically they rate it out of 100 for user experience, where basically they see the content, if it's in the viewport or it's outside the viewports and all of that stuff, and how big is the buttons and all of that stuff. So
you guys know me and my opinion on this one. Basically, user experience is frontline. It creates the conversion analytics that I'm after. Not just, ranking comes as part of that, but I'm after the bigger picture.
Forget the bigger picture. Nobody cares about the bigger picture.
No, everybody doesn't care about that bigger picture, but when they make it, they do, right?
But seriously, we're talking about detail. We're talking about the detail. Is it going to be a ranking signal?
I think so.
Why wouldn't it not, though? I mean, if you've got a good experience from a mobile device all the way to a desktop device and maybe on a TV with Chromecast, and it fits on everything, I think that they would give me the benefit of the doubt over somebody that's not optimized.
I always thought that user experience was a signal, not just from the first range of signal, but the second step, whatever you're going to call it. But I think having a great user experience can affect other signals to Google that helps see, a user connect to a brand, or user be loyal from typography to aesthetics to whatever it is. It helps that relationship.
Yeah, but we're not talking about secondary relationships.
So right now it's first one. That's it.
Let's talk about first connections. So let's go down the line. Who we got first here? William, do you think it's going to be a ranking signal in the next few weeks?
I think it's already part of it. It's been that way for years.
No, UX. Looking at the UX, are the buttons big enough? Does it scroll properly? Is the mobile site really built mobile friendly as opposed to just being responsive, or as opposed to just being very header or whatever?
For that, yes, I would say it would be a ranking factor, yes.
UX for mobile.
UX.
Okay. Ken, could you talk? No. Bones and Matt Cuts.
I think from beyond the grave that certain user experience factors are going to be a factor, but I don't think they're going to care about font size and stuff like that. That's not what I'm talking about. They're going to track more user metrics. They're going to track what people are doing on the site and whether they're going back to Google. I think they already are. I think they're just going to dial up those metrics. And this also corresponds with Maucus, Tollbuzz, search metrics ranking for 2014 as well.
So to go back, William thinks they are going to look at font size, button size, and stuff like that somehow as a UX mobile metric, ranking metric. Josh is saying no, but they'll look at user behavior, bounce rates, and stuff like that, not the actual page itself. Okay.
Well, I'm usually pretty conspiracy theorist when it comes to what they're going to look at or what they can, but the font size is just, I mean, obviously far too erratic across different websites for them to get any useful information there.
But I mean, you have to think out of the user perspective, right? So from the user point of view, having
why are we going to users? We don't care about users. We care about Googlebot only, just spiders. People we don't care about. I'm just joking. Give me a hard time.
No, it's like, I think it's like for having the aesthetics, from the, let's say font size. Take the, using serif fonts comparing to using non-serif fonts also provide certain, authority that give certain, what they call it, I don't know the word, like it shows you certain authority or what's the word? Anyways, whatever it thinks, but it sends certain message. The actual font that you use sends certain message to the user if it's an authority or not, and you can in multiple aspects. So I think it's gonna be used. User experience will be used from mobile side point of view. Yes. So my answer is gonna be yes for that.
Can I throw a question into your answer? Basically, I mean, when you start looking at analytics, guys, you can go into your mobile analytics and figure out what your bounce rates are, and you're going to see what your user experience is right off the bat. You can just say, okay, I have 80% bounce on my mobile experience. I'm probably going to get hit sooner or later.
Well, I don't know if bounce rate's a good metric for that. Depends on. So I think to answer Barry's specific question, in the short term, I don't think user experience is going to be used. I think that they're still figuring out mobile. I think that they need to figure out in the next 12 to 16 months they're going to do something pretty big, because you can see like in the past year they've basically made, I don't know, like 5 or 6 noticeable changes to the mobile search results, and largely around filtering out negative experiences. But they still have said that rankings and those kind of things are still based on desktop, right? But those changes have been accelerated compared to the long term. They've been talking about responsive for years, and they had made no changes to the mobile search results. But now that if you look at most sites, you should be doing at least 35% of your traffic in mobile, if not, like when I was at Spin Media, like music and entertainment, they're on the leading forefront, but we were doing 60-65% of our traffic being pure mobile, right? So at that point, it's the majority, and they need to adjust accordingly. Now, whether or not they're going to be using actual, rendering type of experiences like measuring font and those kind of things, I kind of doubt it, largely just because I think each site, the behavior is going to be different. But I think what they're going to be able to do is they're going to be able to use those secondary effects that they kind of do, or seemingly do. No one's verified this, but that user behavior between the the mobile page, the mobile search result page, and your page. And now bounce rate could potentially be that, but the complexity, I think, is going to evolve, because what happens right now is that if you look at a lot of user behavior, when they're doing something mobile-wise, they're basically having a very specific task that they want to get accomplished really quickly, right? So your bounce rate is actually going to be pretty high, because most users are going to go look at the thing that they want to look at and not necessarily dwell or spend a lot of time on your site. So your bounce rate is going to be exceedingly high. Now, if they're going back to the search results and then clicking on the second result because the first result sucked for them, then I think those are metrics that are going to be really sound. However, if you still also think about the search results, sorry, I know I'm going to rant, but let me finish real quick. If you continue to look at the behavior, though, like most users probably aren't clicking beyond the third result because they're on a mobile device. And at that point, now like devices are getting larger and larger, which makes it easier and easier to surf around, but still the behavior seems to be reduced amount of time actually spent, because the connections are still really too slow and people don't want to wait that long. I'm done.
I agree entirely, and I am the bones of Matt Cutts.
So tell us, Josh, what other signals or stuff you heard over Twitter that you updated your Panda list with?
Oh, okay. So I'm the bones of Matt Cutts, so I don't know who this Josh guy is, but there is a guy named Josh Brzezinski, and he wrote a Panda list. And what he did is he went back for a number of years and hours and hours and hours of research. This guy really worked to the bone. No pun intended. I get it, worked to the bone. Anyway, and so he made a Panda list and of all the Panda leaks. And yeah, so recently another guy by the name of Terrence Mace sent him a bunch of Google patents as well that he could factor into those Google leaks from Google employees. And so Josh Brzezinski recently edited that list to include the Panda patents, but they're not included in the Panda list because he has not yet been able to get a Google employee to confirm or deny that they're using those patents. Of course, just because they have a patent doesn't mean they're using it. But it's good to list there and say, if you're going to make improvements to your website, hey, take a look at this list here too, that they have a patent on it, they might be looking at it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, good. I am the bones of Matt Cutts.
And you're always right, right?
Right.
All right.
So let's go on.
What other stuff?
So Matt Storms are. How would you describe Matt Storms here? Our leader, leader of our Google Webmaster Hangout, was presenting on Infinite Scroll at XMX.
How was it?
It was great. He was. I mean, I just couldn't keep my eyes off him. Although he had a case of Ebola, I think. So I was sitting right in front of him. I was afraid he was gonna spit in my face while he was talking. No, he did okay. He did good. All right, let's move on. So, what do you guys think about the Yahoo directory going offline?
I'm super sad. So sad.
You're sad.
Well, I think every SEO agency is gonna save $300. What was it? $300 or more?
It's a lot more depending on if you're paying directly the Yahoo author who's putting the links in there for me. Yeah. A la DMOZ days.
Yeah.
You know I'm talking about letter A, right? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's pretty sad.
What do you think about it, Barry?
I think they should keep it up, even if they don't update it. I think they should just keep it somewhere. Never knock it down.
Like Barry's contributor page on Search Engine Roundtable.
Yeah. Nobody contributes anymore. Let's talk about this. This is fun.
I contribute to your life daily.
You do. I have tons of commenters that really hate each other and hate me, and they fight with each other. I just crack up from the comments on my site.
What is the deal with these comments? Why are people freaking out so much?
I think a lot of them hate me, and some of them really love me, and then when you put the two of them together in one chat room, it's like a disaster.
It's like matter and antimatter.
And then you have people like egging people on just to get a kick. It's really enjoyable.
I don't know anything about that.
I think when you were talking about your site being hit, and you see the comments, it was like, oh my god, I didn't know that you have that much of haters.
Well, keep in mind, people blame me for any Panda or Penguin update, so it's my fault. Even though Gary took blame for, at least Gary came out and said, "Hey, I wrote the algorithm for the HTTPS," which somebody would come out and say, "Hey, Penguin's all mine." So Black Hat in the chat room asked, "Barry, do you know for certain you were not hit by Panda 4.1?" I know for certain that I was not hit by Panda 4.1. Oh, Agent Black. Hey, how are you? Okay, next. Let's get Josh on ethics if he was here. We'll just talk to the Bona Mac cuts instead. So Carolina, I guess I don't know how you pronounce it in Polish, said tweeted out a document, a Polish version of a document of "Do you need an SEO?" which is published on the Google Help forum in the Google Help documents. And I said, "Why are you posting this? This is kind of old news." I guess they probably translated it from English to Polish recently. And she said the reason they're doing it is because we have seen a lot of SEO agencies abusing their clients' lack of knowledge about the Webmaster Guidelines and harming their sites. These are Polish SEO agencies. I don't think anybody here is from Poland, right?
I presented at a conference in Poland. I mean, Josh Paszynski presented at a conference in Poland. I'm just the bones of Matt Cutts. I am everywhere.
Hence the reason.
So, since the Bona Mac Cuts has been around, a lot of SEO agencies seeing their abuse firsthand.
Yes.
Did the Bona Mac Cuts find that ethical for Google to actually post something like that, or it was just a new or not really a PR savvy SEO that was writing in, and I egged them on, and I got them to actually tell me the truth about why they're posting such documentation?
To tell you the truth, I actually didn't hear the documentation that was posted. You cut out for a second.
Oh, so I actually posted it in the forums. Basically, Google has a document in their help forums describing if you actually, just this title, "Do you need an SEO?" And they converted that to, I guess, the Polish language. And I said, why? And she said, again, we have seen a lot of SEO agencies abusing their clients' lack of knowledge about the Webmaster Guidelines and harming their sites. So basically, she's kind of saying that in Poland, there's a lot of SEO agencies that are abusing their clients. And for Google to have that document in English or any other language means the reason behind that document is to communicate to the public who might be hiring an SEO that there are a lot of SEO agencies out there that are abusing their clients. And does that represent how Google feels about SEO agencies, that they're abusive and harmful for their clients?
Well, that's in public relations. That's standard. What's called Bernaysian public relations. So Edward Bernays was the creator of public relations back in the beginning of the 20th century. He was actually the nephew of Freud, Sigmund Freud, and he invented the term public relations. And the major propaganda that you'll see the Nazis using, you saw the Americans using, and so this is your standard getting in front of the story and trying to tailor it in the way that information in the way that they want it to be perceived, obviously. So I am the bones of Matt Cutts, and so I totally endorse Bernaysian public relations and getting in front of the story and making sure people think of it the way I want them to think of it. Rob.
Great story before Yom Kippur.
I don't know, I didn't hear you. Okay.
Oh, and by the way, Baruch, I'm not coming back to Google. I've clearly retired because you're my bones. So you owe Josh $100 because I'm not coming back to Google. FYI. I am the bones of Matt Cutts.
I think that's immoral, unethical. I've spoken to somebody internally, and it's going to happen before Halloween.
So let me get this straight. So you called Matt, and you said, "Hey, Matt."
I never called Matt. I said somebody internal. I never called Matt. I said somebody internal. That's all I'm going to say.
Internal to what? Like someone from your house? Like who'd you call?
Janitor?
I'm not going to say anything. I'm just saying he's coming back. That's the bottom line.
I'm right here. I'm the bones of Matt Cutts. How about me coming back?
Okay.
Anyway, let's move on. This whole buffer thing with HTTPS is still driving me crazy. Anybody know what really happened there?
I just heard it. I mean, from the comments and reading it, that's about it. And even, I think John Mueller talked about it on a different Hangout. I think I mean, it's an old penalty, right?
No, they said. My understanding was it had to do with the HTTPS migration. That Buffer said they made a mistake. Google said no, Buffer didn't make a mistake. We made a mistake. It was some type of edge case issue which we fixed, and Buffer's back. I don't think it was any algorithm. It was just the way Buffer migrated to HTTPS. Google couldn't handle it, and something happened where they saw a major drop in their traffic from Google results afterwards. And supposedly Google fixed it, but I'm not sure what it was, what they did. I don't think Buffer knows.
It's got to be something. It's probably got to. I mean, with SSL, like, there's so many different ways to implement it. Like, I don't know if like Buffer used their own self-signed cert, which like probably didn't happen, but they probably had some weird edge case scenario where Google just was not expecting most like webmasters to actually transition in that fashion. That's at least what I'm guessing. I mean, there's just so many different ways, and I mean.
But what's interesting is you really didn't have to. Currently, you don't have to have a valid certificate. You don't have to have any. All it has to do is say HTTPS in the URL, and you get the ranking benefit. So there is no security checking currently, validation on if it's really a certificate, if it's actually valid. So I think it has to do more with like Google's crawler, and they maybe did 301s improperly, or they used canonicals going the wrong way, and just probably messed up that way. But Google said it wasn't an issue with Buffer per se; it was more of an issue with them.
By the way,
I think honestly, like if you put your tinfoil hat on, though, like Google has definitely an agenda, especially with even the changes that they've got with Chrome, where like they're basically saying, hey, we're not going to support like 256-bit encryption anymore, or whatever, like that crap by the end of the year, and we're going to start doing that stuff in the Chrome browser. I think they have their own agenda, and for them to like, I think there's an agenda for them, if you put on your tinfoil hat, to make it seem that HTTPS migration should be easy and should not impact your rankings at all, and you should never like worry about it. You should just do it, right? I think they have that as one of their goals. So making it seem like if there's a edge case there, that it's something that we fix. It's not really their fault, right? So I don't know. That's where I kind of like put a little bit of my tinfoil hat on.
Barry, what's happening with your site at this point in time?
I don't know.
I mean, you said it took a dive, but I mean, I'm sure it's going to come back, right? I mean, do you think it's just you were kind of in the Panda moment?
William wants me to mute. No, I think my readers hate me. My family hates me. Google now hates me. So it's just a very depressing time for me. Who do I have?
Is it ethical how they slapped you that?
Yeah, like, why? I mean, so immoral.
How can you blame a holiday? It's supposed to be a holiday. It might be. My site's very slow. It is slow, but again, that's an algorithm, so.
No, it's not. I just checked it from Pingdom. It's not bad.
No, my site's really fast. It's actually pretty good. I don't know. I really don't know. If I knew, I would be able to like do something about it, like write better quality content, spell check, improve my grammar, go back to English class once or twice a week. But since I don't know what to do.
It's got nothing to do with that.
Maybe I should buy some links.
Go to Poland.
I will sell you links. I have links, and I eat spam.
You can't eat a minion, Matt Cutts. Bones of Matt Cutts. You can't eat a minion.
Minion, good.
Like from the Netherlands, it's 754 from the Netherlands, right? So 754, and if I bring it to New York, well, that's where you are. Let's bring it from Texas. I mean,
Baruch, what are you talking about?
Pingdom. I'm just checking SC Roundtable from Pingdom.
No, he's fast. He actually.
Yeah, maybe there is an issue. I don't know.
No.
Well, the load time showing me.
So just go back. We were talking about page speed in terms of it actually equates to the HTTPS factor. So if my pages were slow and I got a demotion for that, I would get a promotion for HTTPS, so it should offset each other.
Yeah, that's Eric Wu. What they call it? Analogy.
You get a positive and you get a negative. They negate each other, right? That's how it works, right?
So it should be okay. I don't know. People just don't like me. I think that's the issue.
Because you're on HTTPS, which means you're on Speedy, and Speedy is faster. But yeah, you're okay. Don't worry about that. I mean, not to rehash like what we talked about earlier, but it's gotta be just some weird edge case that they need to figure out.
Yeah,
don't worry, Barry. It'll only be like, what is it, like a year and a half before they fix the what was that other site?
Metafilter.
Metafilter.
Yeah, Metafilter. Yeah. Don't worry about it. It'll be a year and a half. It'll be
what
okay.
Danny Sullivan said. He's like, maybe they updated the Metafilter algorithm, whatever was heard there, and that put you into there, and you got hit instead because they had to put somebody back into. So
here's a very great example. You don't need Google. You already have your readership. So right.
I need Googlebot to read me. It's something that I need.
Oh, I know. I mean, for news and stuff, it's fine. But I'm just saying in general, like, this is what I tell all the clients, that you don't have to, Google's not everything.
To me, Google's everything.
But also his content. It's all about Google.
Besides Google, I'm saying there's other areas.
What, Facebook? God, no.
You have
I
your...
am the bones of Matt Cutts, and you thought I was eating the minions, but I'm saving all my minions. I'm bringing the minion to the promised land where there's no spam, and I don't do any unethical things. I'm the bones of Matt Cutts.
I think, Josh, your weekend actually started a little bit earlier. Tomorrow you start your weekend and start smoking, not today.
This is what I do. This is what SEO is now. It's creative marketing, right? It's viral marketing. I do this all day. Oh, I'm the bones of Matt Cutts. I'm not Josh. But this Josh Brzezinski guy, he does creative marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah.
So do you believe Gary Barry regarding just what you were asking him about the penguin?
I didn't ask Gary about the penguin. What are you talking about?
You asked Gary about a refresh.
Oh, no, that was, he doesn't. He said, I explained it in detail in my blog, that penguin, he said, yeah, I believe him. Well, he said it in public. It wasn't, he thinks it will come in the next few weeks, or weeks. And that was 2 weeks ago. So maybe it will come, maybe it won't. But again, it depends. If they test something and they find issues, they're not going to release it. So they could find issues today and say, oh, we're going to pull it back until we fix it. Or they could say it's all good and they can release it today. They could be releasing it right now.
Yeah, I'd love to see the staging internal penguin, how they tested, internally.
Nobody knows that.
Well, they got to test it internally, right? Wissam? Like, they must have staging, some sort of staging situation where...
Matt Cutts explained how they do it. They first test it internally at Google, then they test it with those what do they call it? Google quality testers that they pay their consultants. They go through an agency for that, and then they test it in live results on a subset of users, which I think we've been seeing, and then they launch it to the public. So that's how they test.
Often they do release this kind of secret code you can put into the browser, into Google, to search the old results. I wonder if they'll do that again, and I wonder if anyone can get their hand on it. I am the bones of Matt Cutts.
You're always not right. All right. I think we reach almost, there's 5 minutes more, so any last topics guys you want to talk about?
The bones.
Other than the bones?
Stop talking about my bones. I know you want to jump my bones, Baruch.
Before October the 31st.
No.
October
I'm
the
going to win the bet.
27th. October the
Josh
27th.
Krasinski, whoever that is going to win the bet. I'm just the bones of Matt Cutts. Don't hate
You know
me.
what?
I
You know
think-
what? Hold on a sec. You know what? I'll make it 150.
150. I was willing to bet you $500.
It's way off topic, especially now. All right, guys. Well, thank you all for coming, and thank you for the watchers that watching the whole hangout. Hope all of you have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.